Welcome back to Co-ople mode. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And we're back in the studio. We're back talking about video games. We had a very nice Christmas. It really helped make it very relaxing and just kind of chill, right?
Yeah, I kind of suggested it. You were kind of thinking the same thing, and it worked out really, really well. I could tell that, like, as much as I enjoy doing this,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel a little bit burnt out on constantly being forced to play something new.
Yeah.
I need some time to ham out on things that I really want to ham out on. And I wasted pretty much that whole time hamming out on one thing.
Yep, just that. Now, for any new listeners, this is Rose's default way to play video games.
It felt good to be myself
Yeah.
for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And just play one single game over and over.
Mm-hmm. I got to dip into my backlog a little bit, and that was kind of nice.
Yes.
So
I think you needed that a little bit.
It was.
You got to play games for fun that you felt like playing at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
you always feel like playing everything, but you got to really do whatever
let it
you
happen.
want. Yeah. Float around like a cloud like you like to do.
So if the title didn't give it away, we are going to be talking about, we're going to do another like beginning of the year episode where we're talking about all the stuff we talk, like all the games I made Rose
All the games
plays.
we did last year.
All the game. We're talking about all the games that came out last year. No, just the ones we played. There's too many to count. And we're going to also talk about some things we're looking forward to. And we will get into what we were probably playing and doing. You know, we like to keep you up to date on our video game history.
Mine's not very exciting.
So why don't we start by looking back, huh?
So I went through and there was a lot of bangers this last year.
Yeah, right?
We started off on a great note with Monster Hunter Rise.
Well, Far Cry 3 came out
No,
first.
I'm not addressing that.
So we started out rough, and then the next game completely made her forget about the game beforehand because that's how good it was.
I was trying to be positive.
But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, it's so good, and we really kept playing that throughout the whole rest of the year.
Yes, we did. Played that until we technically beat the game. There's more we could do, but I love that game. The only reason I haven't gone back to it is we have gone back to Monster Hunter Iceborne, and the controls between the insect glaive are a little bit different between those games, and I still, playing Monster Hunter World, kind of default go to Monster Hunter Rise controls and mess up once in a while. So you suggested going back to Rise over our break just to get like a remembrance for this episode. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to confuse my fingers even more than what they already are.
Yep.
We're on World. We're going to finish Iceborne. And then I will go back to Monster Hunter Rise. And I don't know. I might mess around with where we're at, but I could totally see myself starting that game over completely from the beginning and loving every second of it. That is how much I loved Monster Hunter Rise. I would play that whole thing over again. I fucking love that game.
Yeah, you don't get much more higher praise than that.
Yes.
And then like right after that, we did Dicey Dungeons. And you kind of went back and touched back into that, and I want to hear how you felt.
So I was having a delusional moment where I was like, you know, even before we decided to do this episode, I was like, you know, maybe I should give Dicey Dungeons a little try again. Maybe I should try it out one more time, you know? And then, like, I started it up, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is why I hate this game. I remembered. Like, I have such a love-hate relationship with Dicey Dungeons because I love the gameplay. I like the style of it. I don't have a problem with that. But there are some things that I really dislike strongly about that game. It is very hard. But I will say, the best part about doing this episode was it's like, I'm going to go look around like on Steam and Metacritic and see what other people think about these games and if they feel the same way I do.
Yeah.
Dicey Dungeons reviews are hilarious to read, especially on Steam. There was like one person that really, really believes that they are not RNG, random number generated dice rolls in this game, and everybody just came down so hard on him. I mean, pages of people like running statistics and trying to prove this one guy wrong.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that this guy like engaged and just kept arguing with these people with just feelings. And I get it. I mean, I play this game and I'm like, geez, I can't win. I always get the worst roll at the worst time, but I've never thought like, oh, the game is unbeatable. The game is made to be unbeatable. It's like, this is just really, really tough to get through. I don't know how you do it. You got to put in a lot of hours. And for me, I get tired of the bosses, the same setups over and over, the same people that you're fighting over and over. I just get tired of the environment too quickly to put in like 200 hours in this game. I mean, I still put in a decent amount, but I'm not one of those people that loves it so much that I'm willing to look at the Loud Bird like 75, 80 times in a day.
Loud Bird is a tough fight.
Any of them. Like, it's really fun at first. I like the characters a lot at first. It just needed a little more. And I mean, you can't even... It's like the best kind of criticism. Like, your game is so good, but it would have been better if you had had more to it. And I know that this guy, I don't think he had a team. I think it was just him that created it, right? I mean, it is what it is. If anything, it'd be cool if he did. I know he's done some more, he's added a little bit more. Like, he had a Halloween-themed period there during those holidays. Like, he does try to add some stuff to it here and there, and that's great. Honestly, he could just keep adding to this game over the years, and it would turn into something really, really good. As far as the people that love this game, they just straight out love it, and they get it. You know what I mean?
I guess, and I told you this too before, how I felt about Dicey Dungeons is I think it is a good game that has potential to be a great game. It is a good game. Like, I don't want to like
I feel that
crap on the game because of the stuff that kind of puts you off after you play it for a while, because it is really good and it is worth a shot. And I mean, if you, like I said, you find it on sale, give it a shot on Steam.
Yeah.
It's on I think it's on everything, if I remember right now.
I think it is now. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is worth it if you like a roguelite type game. Or
like, that hook of this game gets me.
Yeah.
I love trying again.
Yep.
And it's so funny because I did not know that I love roguelite and roguelike games, but apparently that is what I'm all about. Seeing my list that I wrote down of my favorite stuff you made me play this last year, that's mostly what it is.
I know.
And it's kind of exciting that you helped me find that out, because now I'm like looking around on Steam like, oh, wow, what's this? And it is actually suggesting those types of games for me. And it definitely gets me. There was one review that I read that I thought was pretty exact. Dicey Dungeons exists for players interested in its idiosyncrasies and punishing challenges. And I thought that was a perfect way to put it. Because you do just kind of get punished over and over again. Yeah. But for some reason, that's why it's fun. I don't know why, but I just love it.
It is the same reason people, like, I think that Dark Souls became so popular.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
Because having that tough challenge, as frustrating as it can be, as much as you might feel like you're getting cheated out of things sometimes, if you learn what you need to do and you can overcome that challenge, it is that much more satisfying.
Yeah.
And like, anytime I played games where it's like you're coming up and you're just beating your head against the wall, and like, sometimes it's too much. Give yourself a break, come back later. But if you can find that right difficulty curve to make it really challenging, but like people can get through it, it is such a good feeling for you when you overcome that, because you really kind of feel a sense of accomplishment, and that's wonderful. And that's one of the best things a video game can make you feel. Yeah. I feel like
that's the feeling I think most people are chasing, right?
Yeah, right.
I would say, like, gosh, it was over 75% of the people that play that game like it or love it. There was only like 23% that were like, meh.
Which is a pretty good percentage.
That's a really good ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I was excited to see that. I was glad that it was getting a lot of love. And I was also glad that people were defending the RNG in that game, because it like I said, I mean, I've played it a lot and I lose all the time, constantly. I've never gotten so frustrated that I was like, this game is fucking rigged. There's no way to win. How could they do this to me?
I think when you have a game like this where, like, literally the random number generator, RNG, of your dice is so important to everything you do, that when you're not getting lucky, which is really what it is, you feel like you're getting gypped. And that's kind of funny that people worry about. Like I've had to deal with random number generators playing like World of Warcraft back in the day. Any of those MMORPGs where it's like there's a 5% drop, you're going to get some. Monster Hunter is known for that. People always joke about the random number generator gods. They know when you want that rare piece of armor and it's going to be impossible to get, while the buddy you're hunting with will get 6 of them.
Yep.
Like that's a running joke.
And to us so many times.
We'll face like a big bad elder dragon and I'm trying to get 1 gem, and then somehow I watch you get like 3. It's like, why? Why did you get 3? I wish we could just like trade 1 item, like please, but
you're gonna help me kill an Azur Rothallo 6 times because I need 1 part.
Yeah, and you keep getting the part I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
especially in dicey dungeons, the last thing I'll say about that is like, depending on the equipment that you have, it's not like you always want to get number 6 or number 1.
No.
Like, that's other
very
thing.
Rare.
Depending on what you're rolling with and what you've equipped really determines what number you want. And there's also like the dice bump equipment, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's always equipment that like bump your number up 1, bump it down 1, split it into 2 different dice. That's why you got to
ways around, you know.
Something tells me this guy was running a build that was all weapons, and then he wasn't getting the dice he needed to use them all.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you want a couple of them like dice modifier cards to really, like then
be, you know, efficient.
Exactly, efficient. Yeah. Oh.
Then I went and visited Dome Keeper again for a little while. That one was also on my mind recently. I was like looking for something just kind of relaxing and chill because I was like kind of tired, but not tired enough to go to bed. And I was like, you know what? Dome Keeper. That sounds perfect right now. And that one I wish had a better like ratio. I wish people appreciated that game a little bit more than what they do. Looking at some of the reviews, I guess the biggest complaint was some people thought it was boring. I think those people just don't understand what type of game this is. Those are probably the same people that would say Minecraft is boring. Dome Keeper, I know you're mining, but like there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, you know, when you're mining, and there's different modes of play. That game, I'm excited to say the creators of that game have added a lot since you had me play it last year.
Yeah, I know I've seen updates pretty consistently over the last year of them adding things.
Yeah, they added a new double dome to celebrate 2 years of Dome Keeper.
A double dome?
Double dome. You can now use, that's just what they call it.
Double domes.
So they have a Tesla dome and an artillery dome.
Okay.
The artillery dome shoots mortars, and you have a machine gun for massive damage against the monsters. The Tesla dome can have defense orbs around it, which zap the enemies before they reach it.
Ooh.
And then they added supplements to your like upgrade tree on your domes. So when you're mining, you can find little supplement artifacts, bring those back up, and then you can unlock a whole new part to your upgrade tree on your dome, depending on what kind of supplement that you find. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's really cool. You can customize the skills of your dome even more than what you could before. They also added a mine view. So like at the end of your run, you can watch what you dug out and like where the stuff is that you missed still and things like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to do that, especially if you're a person like me who's like, I know I didn't miss a single thing, don't you? Like, I just want to see that I got them all because I really try to be thorough.
Yep.
Which is usually why I die. I'm too busy being thorough mining.
I'm too busy mining while the aliens are just freaking wrecking my dome.
I played it again. I still love it. It's still just as fun as I remember, and then maybe even a little bit more fun. I tried some different things out that I didn't like run with all the time last time, and I just really appreciate that the creators are still adding to it. You can tell there's a lot of love for this game from them, because if I remember correctly, that's the husband and wife team, right, that made this game. I thought it was, I just think it's really sweet, I guess, and I just like that. How much they like their game.
I do like that. And I am excited to see something else from them in the future. But, I mean, if they're happy right now, like adding to Dome Keeper and really filling it out, which is not a bad thing, because all that means is you're going to draw new people in. Old people are going to keep coming back and playing your game.
Yeah.
Like, I am perfectly okay with that, but just seeing their slow, steady, like, increase in the quality of the things they've been making over the years. And it's cool to see. And I really hope to see more from them.
Yeah, they definitely think things through and try to add more that will make it have more of a variety.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's a smart move. It reminds me of Northgard. They're constantly adding new clans, and like they added a whole new expansion that has another campaign story mode. That's what keeps that game fresh all the time.
Yeah.
That's a game that I always go back to.
Like, Northgard has a crew just running. Like, what else can we add?
I know. Constantly. I think they're running out of ideas, honestly, because like some of these last few clans they added are kind of wild, and they're not even Vikings at all.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, it's cool that they're always working on it. They're always trying to make it so that it's still fun to go back to. And I don't think if they didn't do that, it definitely wouldn't have the replayability that it does have. Like you could ham out on it for a while, and then I wouldn't need to go back to it for another like 2-3 years. But with the way that they do it, that one I always go back to pretty regularly. And if I don't, I swear my son's thinking it, and then I end up sucked in it too, because that's just how it happens. Like one of us always needs to go back to that RTS over and over again.
Yeah, between the two of you.
Yeah.
So those were just the two that you had a chance to like jump back in and play a little bit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit more on a couple more things
that you really
I like.
Yeah. I thought I was looking at this list, and it's like, I mean, I know I made you play Dragon Quest 11 and that wasn't your favorite, but like it was kind of, I feel like last year I was really trying to sneak in. I'm like, I gotta find another RPG she's gonna like. I was trying to sneak them in left and right.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. But it was really just, I appreciate that you gave each one a fair shake and you really tried. But like I'm looking at this list, and this is just a snapshot of stuff we played. And in 4 episodes, you played Dicey Dungeons, roguelite dice game, Dragon Quest 11, which is like JRPG-esque, one of the best ones. Yeah,
RPG.
Yeah, really good one.
The RPGist of the RPG.
And then right after that, I was like, here, Batman Arkham Asylum, punch some fools, which is really good. It made me go back and play it. I didn't end up beating it completely, but I played a really good chunk of that game again.
Did.
And then right after that, hey, guess what? I thought you were feeling contained on that island. Here's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Go where you want. And like,
which I would love to get back to. It's been a while, and I kind of meant to, but just haven't gotten a chance, because I know when I start that up, I got to remember what in the hell I was doing. It's been long enough now.
Yep.
I'd like to finish that. I'd also like to get onto Tears of the Kingdom. Everybody else is done playing it now. I still haven't even started.
Except for the hardcores making the even crazier builds. I saw a guy, he maxed out his Poe count at like, he spent like days. When you go into like the underworld area, there's these Poes, little ghost spirits, and you use them to buy items from special area, like stone faces. And he's like, I just wanted to see what would happen. So he maxed out how many he could carry just running around down under there, which is kind of wild. But it's like, it's at that point you get people, it's like, what can I do to that would just, because I feel like that
this game?
Yeah, well, people right
they were already trying to break it.
I know. I need to get back to Tears of the Kingdom too. I had a lot of fun.
I asked you about that actually, because I was like, hey, you kind of dropped it and never got back to it.
I never got. I don't know why. It wasn't that I stopped and then I was bored with it. I think it was I stopped and then I was doing something else, or we were playing something more together. One of the two. It happens. And then I was like, I just didn't feel it. I kept moving on to the next thing, And then like after like 2 months, I realized, man, I haven't gone back to Tears of the Kingdom. But it was funny. Nintendo sent me the kind of like the Spotify Wrapped, like, hey, this is how much time you played this year. And literally 80% of my Switch play time last year was Tears of the Kingdom. So I did play it a lot.
Yeah.
So like, I don't feel bad about that. I think I put like 80 or 90 hours into the game. So it wasn't that I didn't play it a lot. I just didn't beat it. But I'm one of those people that likes to go into all the nooks and crannies. Yeah. And I do all the side quests. Like Skyrim is like a huge example. I got to Whiterun And then I just stopped the story there, and I did all the big side quests. I was head of the Thieves Guild, head of the Mages Guild, head of the Adventurers Guild, head of there was like one other guild. I can't remember offhand.
You haven't even started the game.
Yeah, and like, so I haven't even, I'm like so high level. I haven't even unlocked the tougher dragons that'll start showing up as you advance the story. People running around in glass armor. It's like so stupid.
Let's see. Then we did Monster Train. Still love Monster Train. I wanted to shout out that one too. That was one of my highlights from this last year that you showed me. Mm-hmm. I checked. There's nothing new added since the last time I played, but it's absolutely slaying with all the good reviews of this game.
That's amazing.
People love this game. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad that it's won a few different awards over this last year, and I don't know what else there is to say. It'll be exciting to see what comes next from this creator, because it is really, really a fun one. When I played, there was that expansion that was available then.
Yeah,
for the two other clans.
One. Yeah.
We had gotten that, so like I'm all up to date on it, but I would definitely go back and play that more. Love that game.
The Monster Train is 100% one of those ones. It's like you're sitting there. It's like, what do I do? Like you with Dome Keeper the other day,
minutes.
and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna play Monster Train. Yeah, and it's always fun. It's such a great deck builder, roguelike.
The cards are
so
cool.
Good.
The monsters are cool. Yeah. The moves are cool. Again, you feel like a badass.
It reminds me of something that I'm probably going to make you play this year. I haven't played as much of it yet, but it is in that vein. And because it is in that vein, I think you will really like this other game. Ooh. So that's pretty exciting. Oh, yeah, Iron Brigade. Oh, that one's such a quirky game. Double Fine.
That was a fun throwback.
Oh, yeah. I remember first getting it, playing it, and then I didn't play it for a while, and then I went back after like years of not playing it, and went through and then completely beat it. It's one of those games I like to just come back to and mess around again. Mm-hmm. I really should just start from the beginning, because I got my like huge mech that's loaded out how I want it. Like, I really need to mix and match a little more, I guess. And then we get into probably what I feel like was almost a surprise for me with Fortnite. Which is always adding stuff.
I didn't go back and play that again, but you and our son have, and there is a ton of new stuff on that game.
Yeah, I think Santa brought our son a V-Bucks card, so he had to start up Fortnite, and I'm watching, and I saw the Ninja Turtles were on there. I was like, oh. I have some leftover V-Bucks that when I stopped playing the last time, and I was like, oh, I'll go. So I picked those guys up because I love myself some TMNT. Woo. But yeah, it's what's insane is I was watching the video game awards when they announced all these extra things. Like Fortnite is like trying to be all
everything.
Game. Like if you want
kind
to
of game ever.
Play whatever, you can play it in Fortnite. They still have the original Battle Royale mode. You can pay and get the Save the World mode if you want. They added, but part of the free pack is there's a racing mode now, which they did some partnership with Rocket League. So you can get some, like, because I have a Rocket League car, I can race that Rocket League car in Fortnite. What else did they add? They added the big party one. What's it called? Festival, which is essentially a Rock Band or Guitar Hero back in, and they have actual licensed songs that you can get and run around. And like there's two modes. One, you can just play like the drum track, the vocal track, the bass, or the guitar track
and other people
with other people. Yeah, so I've seen some videos pop up where guys are making remixes just with the like track songs they have, and it's kind of fun to see. And if you still have your old Guitar Hero guitars or Rock Band guitars, apparently they work with Fortnite, and you can play that, which I'm going to interrupt this little Fortnite talk about I hope that this makes people realize, like, I know we got a flood of those music games back in the day, but I really hope another Rock Band or Guitar Hero can come our way, because I miss that.
I do too. I loved that.
It was so good. Like, I found out that the one that me and my brothers bought, I don't know, I think our guitar went missing somewhere along the way, unfortunately. So that's a bummer, but that's life. And then they added Lego Fortnite, which is essentially a survival crafter game. And like they have Lego versions of a lot of the Fortnite skins you can buy. Even my turtles have their own little Lego skins, which is great.
They look so
cute. It's pretty good. I have to give Epic and Fortnite the shout out of like, hey, do we think it'll be fun? Who do we think we can get that people will like to play as? Like,
it's almost a little scary though, because they are trying to be like every game in one game.
Yeah, they are.
They're like monopolizing video games.
But I will say
in a creepy way.
Yeah.
It's cool, but you're a little terrified at the same time.
Their Battle Royale still the best. In my experience, I only got to play the festival with a regular controller.
Sure.
And it was so-so. It didn't really hit that itch for me.
Yeah.
And the Lego Fortnite was pretty good. It's a pretty good survival crafting game. And if you're into those, you'll probably like this one. I think it's slightly simplified a little bit. Maybe that's because it's Lego-ish. But it works. And I've had fun playing it. And I haven't tried the racing yet, so I don't know how good it is. But I mean, if you handle your cars like you do out in the Battle Royale, I don't know. I think you could probably find better versions of these games. But the fact that you can get all this for free
keeps you there, keeps you playing.
Insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the value that you can get in Fortnite now is pretty crazy. I think it's also what leads you to spending money to get V-Bucks, to get that Darth Vader skin, to get freaking the Mandalorian or Ariana Grande or The Weeknd or whoever else, Mr. Beast, all the crazy skins they have. But yeah, I think Fortnite's one of them hidden things that like a lot of especially, we're a little older, our generation, and is like, oh, Fortnite, that's so dumb.
That's for babies.
I mean, I gotta say, like, Fortnite is fun. Like, is it the best game ever? I don't think so, but value for your buck if you just want to play, pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we talked about Dome Keeper.
Yep.
We did some revisit. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Mario and Rabbids was definitely another good one. I wrote that one down too. I'm pretty close to the end in that one. I didn't quite finish it, but I loved that game. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would. And that was a nice surprise for me.
I feel like Mario and Rabbids is like Kingdom Hearts was for me back in the day. I remember when someone told me, hey, guess what? They're going to mix Final Fantasy and Disney characters. And I said, you're crazy. How is that going to work? And honestly, Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. And the second one, too. Third one is okay. I'm not going to get into that. But that's what Mario and Rabbids feels like to me. It's like, okay, who the hell thought this up? And then you go and play it, and you're like, actually, this game's kind of good. This game's pretty good.
I love the Rabbids. They're so silly. And I don't know, Mario is always fun. Like, the essence of Mario and the play style, having that in any game kind of makes it a little bit better automatically. I think that's that nostalgia thing that always gets us. Again, our age group. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one more than I thought.
Yeah, I think that's, talking about just, all the games we played, that's one of those ones I think people really overlook. And it's a lot deeper and more interesting than you think. Like, don't get me wrong, the story is not going to like move your heart. It's not going to happen. But
the gameplay is more complicated. You can be more complicated. You can do better at it if you think it through. Like, it's
gameplay.
Not. Yeah.
And that's what a game is. It's a video game, right?
Well, it's kind of, that's one of those nice ones. Like, I feel that Nintendo has a good handle on making games that like kids can play, but also there's enough there for an adult to like be surprised and go through it and be like, wow, I'm going to whoop this game's ass, but like still have a challenge in some spots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're good at balancing that. And I don't think other companies quite have that done as well as Nintendo does.
Yeah, Nintendo is good at finding that line.
But
for sure.
It makes it hard to sell to other people because they do have a tendency to look so made for kids. I mean, they are. But honestly, if they made another Mario and Rabbids, I would buy it. I would play it. I would try it out just because I enjoyed this one so much.
Yeah, definitely. I do hope we do get another one eventually. I know that this last one didn't sell quite as good, but
I think when you had told me about it, there was something else that released around the same time, wasn't it? That kind of
that made the sales and Nintendo also was like, you should wait, because if you release this, then you have two styles of the same game.
Yeah.
And then you kind of pull sales away from each other. So if people got enough the first time, they aren't going to buy the second one.
Yeah.
People who really loved it are going to eat up the second one.
Yeah.
And then you got people who are like, which one should I buy? So like, I think, I think it just didn't work out. It was a little bit unlucky for them, but I do think it has done well enough and critically has done well enough that we should get another one someday for sure. We're just going to speed through this list. I made you play Donkey Kong Country for the original SNES.
I'm okay never playing that again.
Yeah.
That was hard as hell.
It's a hard game to come back to. Yeah. But when you were, when you're, 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, and that's all you have, you figure it out. And then I made you play Earth Defense Force 5.
Never doing that again.
Don't worry. Earth Defense Force 6. It's coming your way. Woo.
No. Is that a thing?
Yeah, Earth Defense Force 6 is out in Japan. It's not out stateside, though.
Keep it there, you guys.
Bring it.
Japan, just keep it over there.
I wrote a list of games I'm excited for that are going to come out, hopefully in 2024, and Earth Defense Force 6 is one of them. You do not have to play it. Okay.
Until you tell me to.
Until I run out of ideas and I want to see you squirm. Or I'll make a recording of you playing it and then post it on
with my grumpy cat face the whole time.
Just so angry. Oh, that sounds amazing and horrifying for me at the same time. And then we're gonna come up. I made you play Game of the Year. Amazing game, Baldur's Gate 3.
That was, I would love to. I was actually just talking about that game with a coworker recently because they're getting into it now. I definitely want to come back to that one too. It's a little tricky because I know what a time sink that is, but this one has more of a draw because of it being D&D.
Yeah.
That I'm a little more willing to put time into a game like this. I mean, I don't know what to say. That one was beautifully done, of course. Like, there's a reason why it's Game of the Year. It's amazing through and through.
The story's good. All the characters are well written and feel real. And you're gonna come across some quirks sometimes, but it's fun. It's interesting, and if you can think your way out of a situation with items you have or stuff around you, I don't know if I've run into a situation where they don't let me do something. It's really fun. It's really cool. I really would like to maybe start a new game with you and me, and we run through Baldur's Gate 3 together. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe I would do that. I didn't get super, super far, so I guess I'd be willing to scrap that and start over.
I mean, I can be honest. I hadn't even make it out of Act 1 yet because I haven't around either. Doing it. And I think playing it with you would be fun. We could both make our own character and then carry whoever we want with us.
One of our friends joined in my game, which we had a blast together.
Yeah.
But I thought she knew I was a druid. And then she's making a character to join my game. And I'm like, oh, what did you make? She goes, a druid. And I was like, oh, fuck, I got 2 fucking druids on my team now. Yeah. And I can't take her druid out of it. I mean, there's worse combinations, right? Definitely. Yep. You can have 2 druids play pretty differently, especially with their
Circle of the Moon, Circle of Spores. Yeah.
And I think she did pick a different one. I think she was going to pick Circle of Spores like me. And I was like, pick a different one. I'm already Circle of Spores. So she did. But, I mean, there are fun things about that. Like her turning into a raven and attacking people. Us turning into kitty cats. Nothing's going to cracks. We're just exploring and walking around. There are definitely worse combinations. 2 wizards or something like that. 2 squishy boys. Yep. But it would be really fun to do it with you, though.
I think so. I would really enjoy it. I think about
me and her together, all different characters.
Yeah.
That would be
I think that would be a blast, and something we could let's dig in a couple hours tonight. Let's dig in, or whatever, depending on if it's a weeknight or weekday.
You and me, we'll slow grind that shit for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we got to get in for the long game, but then we did Monster Hunter Rise. We've done so much World, and you know what? That's okay. I can handle that slow grind.
Yeah.
And especially, doing it with you, I think would be a real blast. So obviously, game comes highly recommended. It was voted Game of the Year.
Yeah, don't take our word for it. Just listen to everybody.
Yeah, listen to everybody. I think at this point, anybody listening to this podcast is going to know if Baldur's Gate 3 is their thing or not.
Yeah.
So, but there's, like I said, there's a reason people have loved it so much. And then we went right into another banger, Hades.
That was the last one I wrote down. I loved that one. And I went and looked it up just to see, and Hades 2 is coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
So this is on my look forward in 2024 for early access in Q2 of this year.
Oh, okay.
So sometime in the spring.
Yep.
I was looking at screenshots of the landscapes in this game. Look amazing. The first game looked good. I didn't have a problem with that. I thought the scenery and the build out of the world was good. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, looking at the screenshots of Hades 2, I was like, whoa, this looks even better. Like there's even more added to your surroundings, but not in a distraction way, in a really beautifying way. Like they really made the Greek world come even more alive, it seemed like, with the flowers and the trees and it just really builds it out and fills it up more. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of entranced for a minute just looking at it, and I know the gameplay is really, really good, and there's screenshots of that too, and that looks like it's going to be fantastic again.
Yep.
So I am really excited to see Hades 2, and I would like to play that in the next year for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for that. I loved Hades. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Roguelites have just got me. Dead Cells, Hades, Enter the Gungeon, even the card-based ones. Like that kind of game where I got this tight gameplay loop.
Yeah.
I love it. And please, more good ones, different ones, mix it up.
I'm excited that they're making a second one, and a lot of people are. Luckily, Hades has a ton of good reviews on it too, a huge like ratio on Steam, and I think Hades 2 is set up definitely for success.
They're set up for success, I think so.
And everybody's just raring to try it out and play it. So that's great. Good.
And then as we move along, we went to Stanley Parable, which, not well received. Chrono Trigger, which mistakes were made. I still kind of feel bad because I think there were things you liked about the game, but you got so frustrated by the combat, and because we turned up that battle speed, and
I'll take a regular turn order, please.
Yeah.
Not just willy-nilly getting smacked around before I can even decide what I want to do.
I think why I got mixed up is all the other RPGs we played up until that point have
a turn order?
Yeah, like it's a turn order, like that, like a very classic RPG, and Chrono Trigger uses the active time battle, so time's constantly happening and your meters are filling up. So when we turned up the battle speed, it turns up the speed of you and the enemies, and that meant that the enemies just like instantly keep attacking and attacking and attacking. So it really just made it frustrating for you, and I feel bad about that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever touch it again.
We dipped into some Borderlands.
That was fun to dip into. I'm glad I got to play that finally.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it, though. Like I said when I played it, it's like a time capsule of the time of Xbox.
Yeah, very much so.
And it's fun to see it and do it. It doesn't really have the draw for me now at this point, but still really glad that I finally got to try that game because I had always wanted to.
I do hear that there is a fourth one in the works.
There is the Borderlands movie coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully this year, finally. It got delayed a few times, but it should be coming out this year.
Yeah.
And it has an amazing cast list. And actually, I'm excited to see that. I would pay money to go to a movie theater to see the Borderlands movie with you.
That would be cool. That'll be exciting to see that come out. And you know, I hope they've made Borderlands for a long time now, right? The second one is really good. The third one kind of fell off a little bit. So I'm hoping that when they come to the fourth one, they take the time to keep some of the essence that made Borderlands fun in the first place, but also like ease up them pain points that are in the game. Like going back to the original, like we didn't even go back to the very original. We went back to the remastered version and like that already has some things that eased up some pain points. Like we actually had a mini map. In the old one, you just had a compass up at the top. Yeah. And like, okay, your objective's this way. And if you wanted to see where it actually was, you had to pause the game to look at the map. And like just having a mini map can help you navigate around better.
Faster.
Yeah. So I think I love this series and I would love to have a good excuse to just dip back and do it. Because like the actual moment-to-moment gameplay, like when you're getting into a fight, feels good, feels fine.
Yeah, it does.
The only hard thing is when you're switching guns so often, your sights are different, and that can throw you off a little bit sometimes. Yeah. But other than that, like, yeah. So I'm hoping for good things.
I would try a Borderlands 4.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Be a pirate. That one, you know what was so fun about that one was
just all of us playing
the
together.
whole family got to play together.
Yeah.
And I think that just made it more exciting.
Except for like if we need to get off the boat onto an island and it's not close enough to the island and you have to swim and it's night and there might be sharks and then our son is like, absolutely not. Nope. I'm staying on this boat. Which is hilarious. That one, I still feel the same way I did about that one. It was fun to play all together. I think that's where it shines. And I would go back and play it anytime you guys ask me to. Yeah. No problem. I'm not going to actively do it on my own by myself. Yep. Because I think it really is the most fun when you're playing with friends.
It is, you know, it's like every 3 or 4 months, our son gets the bug to play Sea of Thieves, or I do. Cute. Yeah. And so like, you know what? That'll be a fun reason to be like, hey, we need to play. Let's all play together as a family.
We need to be pirates today.
Yeah. Let's be pirates today. And then the last game you played before our break was Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, the Monster Hunter RPG that I tried to sneak in to get you to like another RPG, which is just Pokemon Monster Hunter.
It's not though.
But you also have a sword.
It was okay. It didn't get me though. It didn't.
You know what? I think, and I think I said this during that episode as well, is that it suffers from the same thing regular Monster Hunter does. It's not good at grabbing you right away. It is not good at getting its hooks in you right away. Like some games are. Like you play Hades, you play Inscription. Like it gets you so quickly that you have to come back and play. You play the Monster Hunter games and like it takes, you got to play 2-3 hours, even more sometimes before like all of a sudden that bug.
More than
it's like a slow fever. Like it slowly builds and then like, I got to get back.
But I put in more than 4 hours in that game.
I know you did. I believe you.
You know.
I'm just saying, well, you also lost some of your save file too. Yeah. And that didn't help. That never helps.
It was interesting.
That was not a game problem. That was a son problem, by the way. Just so you know.
That was they didn't make it so that you can save at any point problem.
Yeah, I think this is what I feel. I'm okay with there being save points, you know, especially if they operate as something else like quick travel points or whatever. But you need to make like a quick save spot that you can jump into. So if you can't get back to a save point, at least there's a recent autosave that you can go back to real quickly.
You know what it is with that game? And I think I said this when we talked about it in December too. Yeah. It's funny because we were just talking about Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope and how like it seems like a little kid game, but like there actually is the complexity there for adults. But I would say Monster Hunter Stories, that was my problem with it. It is a kid game, but it does not have the complexity for adults there.
Yeah.
And that's what didn't fulfill my brain playing that game.
Yep.
It's too like simplified. And like I said, at that point, it's like, I don't really want to do this. I just want to play regular Monster Hunter. Like I want all of the extra things and achievements and things to work towards and to do and complexity to it. And this one just didn't have that. Like, I think it would be great for kids if they want to play Monster Hunter, if they're interested in it.
Yeah.
This is a great way to start them out where it's not too hard right away.
Yeah, for younger kids, for sure.
Yeah, for an adult, it's like...
Just play regular Monster Hunter.
Yeah, why would I play this? That's all. Like, it's not... There's nothing there to hook me, really.
You know, that kind of... Just talking about that save thing, and this is going to just transition into... No, I should do that. I'm going to wait for what we played till later. Let's talk about... I'm going to stop myself. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to. Things you're looking forward to in 2024.
Slime Rancher 2.
Slime Rancher 2. Okay, yep.
Hades 2.
Hades 2. Yep.
I feel like there was something else, but I can't remember. And I didn't write it down. I wrote like 3 pages of notes. But I kind of forgot about,
I just want you to go first because like Hades 2 is on my list too. And we talked about that a little bit already. Yeah. Super excited about that. I am excited for the full release of Slime Rancher 2. I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, it's not till next year that, the next Monster Hunter is coming out. But
2025 Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, that got announced.
That's like the biggest thing on my mind. Like for me, as games go, that is the next big game for me.
Yeah.
Slime Rancher 2 is the second. Like I really loved Slime Rancher, and I'm excited to dig into Slime Rancher 2.
So yeah, I'll go down. I have a short list. Just double checking stuff coming out. I'm excited. I am excited for EDF6 to come stateside.
No, it's not going to. Japan's keeping it.
I'm also excited. I think it comes out pretty soon, probably after this video comes out. No, not EDF6. Another game I'm talking about.
Okay.
I haven't even...
Say it.
The Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It comes out in January sometime. So I think...
You still like those? Has it gotten old? There's so many of them. That's a curiosity question. I've never played these games.
Okay. I got to put like Sands of Time on your list. That's one of the greatest ones.
Want to.
There's different kinds of Prince of Persia games.
Okay.
The one that became popular was with Sands of Time, which was a little bit combat, a lot more puzzle, with some time mechanics. Was really, really good. And then that one had 2 more sequels in it. There was a reboot with a completely different prince that was all cell shaded, and it did so. And then this one is a 2D Metrovania type, like hack and slasher kind of thing, and like it looks beautiful. It's a new prince. It's
2D.
Well, 2.5D. Everything's in 3D, but it takes place in a side-scrolling plane. So
really,
yeah. I'm trying to think of a game like. It's like playing like Mario for the Wii U. It's in 3D, right? But it's like that.
That just surprises me because from what I remember when Prince of Persia came out, like the big deal about that game was how realistic it looks. Like it was all about that.
The original Prince of Persia is a 2D side-scrolling game.
Is it really?
Yep.
What am I thinking of?
No, you're thinking of a Prince of Persia, but it was a big thing of how real everything looked. You're climbing up the walls and stuff like that. And that got really popular after, I think, wall running and that climbing, that Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, that's the one you're thinking of, was where it became really popular, and then Assassin's Creed made it even more popular. So like that parkour
I think I'm mixing Assassin's Creed in there.
During that time, that mechanic became huge, and it's hard to find games that don't have some form of that anymore. So yeah, it looks good. It looks colorful. It looks fun. And I'm excited to try it. I don't know if I'll try it right away or, when I get around to it, but I am looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League. Now, I'm gonna say that I'm a little hesitant.
Why?
Well, it's in the Arkhamverse. It's got by the guys who made Batman: Arkham Asylum.
Well, that game's good.
Yeah, so those games are good. I am like, how do I put it? I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's gonna be the best game ever, or it's gonna be the worst game ever. I'm just gonna be like, it's gonna be a game. It looks kind of interesting. And I'm interested to check it out. I don't know.
Well, if the people that made Batman are making it, it'll probably be
decent at best.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat crow there and say it'll be cool.
Another one is Animal Well, which is the game produced by Big Mode Donkey. Yeah. So that one looks like a fun little side-scrolling puzzle game with animals that you control. Like that just looks interesting and cute, and like that's like, hey, I get that, and you play it for a couple of weeks and you beat it, like that kind of game, or even less depending on how much you play in a day. And Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out this year by Capcom.
I don't know what that is.
You just you make me wonder if I gotta make you play the first Dragon's Dogma. Think of Dragon's Dogma like a fantasy RPG, but you more akin to, like, how do I put it? It's like third person, like Monster Hunter, but kind of like Skyrim, where you have like a class. Not that it's not how Skyrim is, but like you're going around the world, you're getting quests, you're fighting monsters. And like you get to pick what your class is. So you could be a sword fighter, you could be an archer, you could be a magician, right?
Sure.
That's kind of, and then as you get through the game, you unlock more classes that you can also level up and kind of do a little mixing matching with your moves, especially if like there's like a magic archer that's an upgrade of an archer, so you can mix archer's skills on that class, that kind of thing. But one of the coolest thing is the monsters you fight. You fight this like snake hydra early on, and like it will swallow some of your companions, and you'll see them slowly going down their throat.
You always make games sound so cool.
And you can actually like these monsters, you can jump on them and climbing. There's a climbing mechanic for monsters because some of these monsters are really big, and like you hack at them and while you're on them, while your stamina
you're
lasts.
Making this sound awesome, but I know better now. You make things sound really cool.
It's really cool. The character creator is really intense in it. People have made like a lot of famous people in the original Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, it's a really like particular. Okay,
yep, and you also get to make a they call it a pawn in game. So you have a second computer character that comes along with you on the adventure, and so you can actually like. Other people can rent out their pawns to you. So when you go and form a party, you get...
Is it like another person or an animal
No, it's their
friend?
pawns. It's another person, but it's essentially like a magical AI. That's the best way I can put it.
Like your Palico, but not a cat. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say?
That's a buddy.
But it is have humanoid.
Yep. They have their own skills, their own classes, their own equipment. You can give them stuff, but like when you tell them to leave your party, you ain't getting that stuff back. So be careful. And like if anybody out there uses your pawn, you get items, so you want to make a really good one and yours levels up with you.
Make mine a squishy wizard.
I think I made mine you. I got me and then I got you. Her face right now. She's like, oh, he loves me, but I'm a pawn. Mixed emotions. So I'm really excited for the second one. It's going to be updated. It's just cool. Like you fight a chimera, which is like the lion with the goat and the snake tail, and you got to cut off that snake tail because it'll cause problems. Like you're
making this sound really cool.
And man, I that one can be a pretty big game, but I might have to put that on the list.
Oh no!
And then I just out of the blue, it looks like Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, is finally coming to Xbox this year. After so long, apparently the exclusivity period on the PlayStation must have gone up or something. And I was like, maybe I don't know about that, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Oh. So there's a lot that we did, a lot to be excited for. Yeah. So why don't we just go over quick what we've been playing, and then we'll let these people go. They're ready, right? We gotta start recording at the beginning of the next half.
Well, it'll be pretty easy for me to tell you what I've been doing.
Yep, go for it.
Just Inscription all the time.
Specifically Casey's mod.
Yeah, I got the itch and I was like, I loaded it up, and now you can just play Casey's mod right on Inscription. Mm-hmm. The creator, Daniel Mullins, has made it so that you can do that, and he's added some things to it. And there's like challenges that you have to complete to keep moving forward in that to make it harder and harder. I have just continuously been getting my ass kicked for weeks now. And I'm at the point where I started up and I play like 2 or 3 runs and I'm like, I'm done. I've been punished enough. I did really well. Like, it took me a few runs to get back into the swing of it. And now I do really well and I get right to the end and I lose every time lately. It's so dumb. But I was playing on our laptop, had beat the first challenge, unlocked some new stuff, and I want to do that. I want to unlock more challenges because the more you unlock, like, there's more cards that'll come into play, and you can actually unlock new starting decks that are different, and I would love to do that. And so I unlocked one, went and played on the PC, and all of my data just gets, like, erased in the space-time continuum.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some sort of deal with the Steam Cloud and the Inscription game. So if you start the game on one computer and you start it up again, stick with that computer. I
learned the hard way.
Yeah, people have lost their like original game saves as well. So that's something I didn't know about, and I guess I just never ran into it.
I was confused because it said that I still had the achievement for beating that.
Because you did it. Yeah. So Steam knows you did it.
But it was all gone, and I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah. So I showed you, and we looked it up and found this out. But
yeah, unfortunate.
So I beat that challenge again on the PC, went back to the laptop, it was gone again. So I have spent like the last week trying to do it, and for some reason, like, the stars and the planets will not align in the right way for me to beat that right now. I get right at the end every time and make a mistake and mess it all up. That game is wild how it can be hard and easy all at the same time. During a run, you will have a battle where you will absolutely whoop Leshy's ass because all the correct cards show up, right? And then you get to the next one and all the wrong cards show up for the situation and you just get annihilated immediately. And there's nothing you can do. That's the worst part. Like, sometimes you have what it would take to win this fight, but you just don't have it in your hand and no way to get it. And then you're done. You're just done. And you got to do it all over again. And I will say, like, the more times in a row that I play it just back to back, I start like getting confused about what my deck even looks like because I've played it too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did I have this card this run or not?
Do I still have this?
Yeah. That's the rough thing.
And that is not a good way to play that game. You need to know what you have and what you're doing with it. I found out some cool stuff though. Like, I kept getting my ass kicked and I looked up on Reddit, like, how do you do this? And I was very happy to see another woman out there having the same problem because in Casey's mod, you don't have all the secret unlocks around the cabin that you do in the regular game. So you're not getting that squirrel totem this time. And without that, like, that's a big thing in the main game. That squirrel totem really can just help you out so much. It was interesting because everybody's like, just don't make misplays. Just don't be bad. Just get better.
I will say this is the only thing I think about Casey's mod that I wish there was a way to go back and like, hey, you made 8 misplays this game before you lost. And then you could go back and see like
what they were.
What was considered a misplay in this. You know,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I know, like, sometimes I do something and I'm like, that was dumb.
Yeah, the obvious ones, but like a lot of times it's.
But once in a while, I don't really. I definitely think I could learn how to play better if it could explain that to me. You do get a lot of nice stats when you play Casey's mod about how you're doing. And like I said, I've definitely gotten better, but
I bet you somebody has a video that they've done.
I'm sure. And I thought about looking it up. And at the same time, I'm like, I got to at least beat the first challenge on my own. I know I can do it. I've done it twice.
You just got it. Leshy rose from the grave to take it from you.
Yeah.
No, you don't get this. Thank you, Steam Cloud.
I did find an interesting hack where, and I did not know this before, but if you get the ringworm card and feed that to the campers around the bonfire, they will get worms and not be there for the rest of your run, which means that you can upgrade your cards twice in a row with no risk.
No risk, baby.
So that is challenging. Like, you don't always get a ringworm, but right at the beginning, that makes it the most worthwhile. I've had a few runs where I get it like right at the end, like the last 3.
Yeah, not useful anymore.
You don't even know how many bonfires you're going to see during your run. Yeah. That's all random, right? But man, when it works out, you get some beefy cards by the end, and that feels good. Let me tell you, that's a nice little trick. But other than that,
yeah, pretty much
what I've been doing lately.
So I got the Super Mario RPG remake for Christmas. Thank you, Rose, for the wonderful gift.
Merry Christmas.
I've been playing that. I played that through and beat it because it isn't a super long RPG, and because you've been playing Inscription so much, I've been really able to sink my teeth in. I'm in the when you beat the game, you can save your clear data, and it puts you to right before you went and beat the final boss, essentially.
Sure.
And then now there's like a lot of like really tough fights like hidden around the map, and like these fights make you work. Like,
yeah,
I went through a couple of them, and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I'm doing good. And then I run into, there's this one guy named Booster who's up in this tower, and he's just a total idiot. And and he's like, hey, I've been working on this train. You want to play with me? It's like, yeah, sure. Freaking. He sits in the back row and he's like, I'm going to work on the train. And then his little bodyguard, like Shy Guy dudes, like are like, oh, I'm going to help him. Yeah, you can do it, Booster. He's like, oh, okay. Does the train, does 4-9 damages. 999 damage.
999.
Like the no, 4 nines, only 4 nines. My max health.
9999.
9999. Yeah. But like your max health is only like 200 for my max level characters.
That's 36 damage.
9,999 damage.
Oh, no, I thought you meant 9 damages. I totally misunderstood.
No. He does 9,999 damage to all my guys.
You're supposed to beat him before that, obviously.
I think there is probably an item I can equip that will help. And it's just hard because I can't one-shot these characters because they made the battle tough, and I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna need to look at my items. Yeah, damage. 4 nines. Yeah, it's a rough attack, and like I haven't seen an attack that hits that hard. Normally it's like, oh, it did 100 damage. Ooh, that was a tough attack. That's like half my health, and this guy just comes in and blows a train up in your face. Gosh dang it. But yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. But I'm happy, I beat that, and then at the same time, I've been playing Raft on Steam, and that is a survival crafter type where you're basically floating on the ocean. Like the story is the world's flooded, and you're on the raft, and there's garbage floating towards you. So you collect that garbage and use it to upgrade and build your raft, and eventually find these very rare islands. And generally, every time I've jumped in, I kind of just did a little bit and didn't get super far. But this one, I actually kind of took the time to collect all the resources I need and do everything I need. And like, I'm actually going to the story specific islands and kind of learning a little bit more about your character and the characters you can play as and stuff. So it's been really fun. I've been enjoying that. And the other thing I've been playing is this cute little casual like blacksmithing game called Strike While the Iron's Hot. Or no, it's just While the Iron's Hot. Sorry. I always want to think of the whole saying.
Sure.
And yeah, you like wash up on this island and you just like
start blacksmithing.
Yeah, you build things for people and it's really cute. It's not like super difficult. It's more about like collecting your resources and managing that a little bit. But honestly, if you take some time, you can collect more than you're ever going to need. And it's just kind of fun to see what they let you make. Like you make a submarine for somebody at some point. Like, it's like, okay, sure, I can make that. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I'm really close to the end, and I want to beat that too before there's another game I want to start that I've been letting sit in my backlog a long time. And it's this game that is like, oh, I hear really good things about it. And I also think it might be something you might possibly like as well. And it's like, I just got to take the time and play it. And but I want to clean up what I got going on first, So that's kind of what I've been doing. And I've just been bouncing around. Luckily, I can play them no matter what everybody else is playing on something else. So if somebody's on the computer, I'll go on the Switch. If somebody's on the Switch, I'll go on the Xbox. Like, That's kind of why I spread it out smartly this time.
Oh gosh, I remembered what the other game was.
Oh yeah.
Because you talking about having a console to play on. Well, I was playing Inscription. Our son saw me. He wanted to play. I ended up buying another copy of Inscription on Steam.
Yep.
Because I was borrowing it from your library.
Oh yeah.
But right now there is a sale for Daniel Mullins' games. You get Pony Island and Hex.
Yep.
When you buy Inscription as well. And that is to celebrate Pony Island 2 coming out this year.
Yep.
That was the other big one that I wanted to say. That will be interesting. So since I got Pony Island now, I tried that out over the break as well. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Don't tell me about it yet. I feel like that's the kind of game that, you know,
yeah, it's the kind of game that you can't really talk a whole lot about. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I tried it for a while and that was I think he's very good at creating something that's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. I like that.
So I'm excited for Pony Island 2. I'll definitely give that a try.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add or wanted to talk? We got to talk about a whole lot. Got a lot off our chest.
We forgot to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
What about Sonic the Hedgehog? I'm watching the shit-eating grin she has on her face right now. What about Sonic the Hedgehog?
You know when you mix Sonic the Hedgehog with Curious George, what do you get? What would you get if you mix those two characters together?
Curious George and Sonic.
Curious George and Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't know what.
Too fast, too curious.
Oh,
that was
God.
a good one. Sometimes I feel like that is our son. Too fast, too curious.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that, and I also thought like if that is not like a Newgrounds Flash movie somewhere, like I feel like
that we need to make it.
Well,
does that feel good?
Feels good. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be talking to you guys. We appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to another year.
Yeah. Sorry about the long break, but I think we did need it just to get really refreshed and excited about playing something new for me and for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to get refreshed.
And yeah, so we'll start on our schedule like normal now. So expect a new episode to come out in a couple weeks.
Monday.
Yep. Every other Monday. And we'll keep on that schedule and keep on trucking. Please, if you have a comment or a suggestion, leave that in the comments or on Spotify. There's a little message thing you can do if you scroll down the page. So yeah, just do that. I'm always excited to hear what other people think either Rose might like or what they think it would be interesting to make her play. Thank you to Brother Ray for our caricatures.
Thank you for the music.
You're very welcome. And we're going to get out of here so we can get on started with all our New Year's games. So I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And this has been Co-ople Mode. You keep gaming with your bestie. Ta-ta!